right, there we go. I was like, why is there no sound? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? My sound is good. Okay. It wasn't showing. I was like, why is it not working? All right, cool. Thank you. Sorry, guys, just running late. Busy morning, all kinds of stuff going on. Meetings, etc., etc., etc. All right. So, obviously, we've had a little bit of a wee, I'll say a wee bit, right? Sorry, a little bit more than wee bit, right? The dollar's been kind of getting blasted, right? We've seen euro strength right now, dollar weakness across the board. We've seen a little tiny bit of pound weakness, although I wouldn't say it's, I mean, you can see that the euro pound is up 37. I wouldn't say that it's anything like earth shattering, but a lot of news this morning. Right here you go, right here. The EU leaders talking about speeding up the vaccine rollout to race against variants. It's kind of an interesting statement. You guys know my opinion on it, right? I mean, you can speed up the, you can speed up the vaccines, but if a variant shows that it is resistant to the vaccine, then it's null and void. It doesn't necessarily matter. So, but again, I guess if it's out there and it can block enough people, there's less of a chance, I guess is what it is. It's like a race to keep the variants down. But I mean, Mother Nature is cruel, right? Just when you think you got it all taken care of, bam, you get hit with like 2 feet of snow, right? Or, Texas freezes over, something like that, right? So it is what it is. I don't know. But again, the market is like that one. It's given a lot of European strength that they're like taking these big steps forward. So that's good. And it will, again, by them, I don't know. In a pandemic, if you've had the ability to speed it up, why wouldn't you have already done it? Like I'm under the assumption that everybody believes they are doing the absolute best that they can, that if there's any way they could roll it out faster, they would. I mean, that's my just basic assumption, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too optimistic, right? But I think that's a big one. As far as GDP numbers today, obviously the prelim came in a little bit shy, although it's one of those numbers that's weird, right? Forecast was 4.2. It comes in at 4.1. Technically, it's a disappointment, but previously we were at 4, so it is still a positive kind of push forward. So, could it do some good things in the market today? Yeah, it could. I mean, indices have the power to go higher with something like that. As I said, it's kind of a more back to normal type situation. As far as U.S. stuff goes today, the biggest thing is going to be this being the third stimulus check. Excuse me, God, I don't know why I'm like so gassy this morning. 150 top. I love this. Top business executives from some of the largest companies. So, from some, not all. I mean, it could have said from all of the largest companies, but it says some, right? It's always funny. Basically saying, yeah, send more money out. I'm like, of course companies want them to send more money out, I mean, come on. You don't get to be a top business executive and it's like, oh, yeah, previous relief measures have been essential. Yeah, because if people get more money, then you get more profits, right? And it makes you richer. So of course you send it out. I mean, come on, It's like dumb stuff like this. It's like, I don't know. It's like, really? But that will overall help today. Again, it's more pressure to get these $1,400 stimulus checks coming out. Like I said, top business executives don't really care about deficits and things like that. That's not their concern. Their concern and their job as a business executive is to drive company profits any possible way that they can. Everybody having a $1,400 check in their pocket sounds like a great thing, or the people that are going to spend it the most. Again, anything that increases people purchasing from their companies. Yeah, of course they're on board. Of course they're going to say, no, don't send more money out to the public. Right. So that'll help today. This is interesting too. The recovery is in a rough patch right now. Rough patch, not rough patch. I don't know. I think that can be debated. I know it's hard to say that, that's where the recovery is, but yet your GDP is growing at 4%, which, again, consistently 2 quarters in a row, 4%. So, and again, that's without all this extra money. So we'll see. And vaccine rollouts. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say it's a rough patch, but it is what it is. Besides that, tomorrow, the rest of today, we have a speech later today. I don't think it'll be a big mover, particularly because tomorrow we have these G20 meetings. Typically, when you have something like a G20 meeting, I think tomorrow, do they have the agenda listed in here? No, not so much. Um, not so much. I'm sure it's going to be about how do they start, re-energizing the global economy, and how do they keep trade with border security going and all this other stuff. So, you know, there's a lot, that can happen. And as you guys saw, I don't know if you saw it there or not, but for tomorrow, there are, where is it? These meetings are closed to the press, but officials will talk throughout the day. So it's not like a regular news release where at 10 o'clock we know there's going to be a speech. It tends to come in waves, right? So it's one of those ones. It's a little bit different, and it is a 2-day event. You'll see it's here as well. It is. I think it's on Saturday too. I'm pretty sure it continues into Saturday this time. It doesn't always happen, but I'm pretty sure they're going to continue into Saturday. You'll get quotes, right? And the quotes will tend to be market moving. The problem is, again, obviously, by late Friday afternoon, we're the only ones open, right? Yeah, we'll see. This is also interesting too. The post-Brexit UK trade strategy needs to engage China. I actually don't know if they will. I mean, I'm sure they'll bring it up. But I do know, again, they're going to try to protect their, again, trade with China is always a touchy subject, right? It's not going to be one of their main trading partners. It's not going to be, they're going to try to protect their companies. Remember, for any company to do trade over there, that, China has to have full rights to everything. It's just ridiculous. So I think, I don't know. It's nice to say this, but I don't think this is going to be a huge focus for them. I think they're going to focus more on working with their allies and then recreating their EU contracts. That's going to be the biggest thing for them. Going across to China will be a little bit more important, as well as they're going to they'll silently kind of support the U.S. by not creating the same type of trade deals until, China's playing by the same rules. So don't look into that too much. But again, euro dollar 107 is absolutely huge. Dollar CAD down 103. Big day. And again, so it's the combination of dollar weakness, what we've seen, euro strength across the board, best case scenario. But again, I would be looking for a bit of a retracement. If not today, most likely tomorrow. Because remember, everything tends to revert back. So look at that one. Let's go over and dive right into charts. So let's start with Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, again, because of the dollar weakness, this one is continuing to rally higher. And again, we know that we don't really have any great selling opportunities up until 80.96. And I believe that is a daily, right? Yeah, it's a daily level. So it's one of those things. I mean, Ernest asked today in the forums, is the Aussie really this strong? And the answer is yes. I mean, it's benefiting from a lot of different things. Not so much on the gold front, but as the gold front is disappearing, the dollar is also disappearing. So we're getting dollar weakness from that with, lack of inflation, no interest rate push. Again, weak dollar. China saying we're going to buy rare earth. Great. That's Australia. China, recovery being ahead. Great. They get all their natural resources from Australia. Being that the rest of the world is starting to recover, that we're starting to see manufacturing return. Because remember, the manufacturing PMI numbers have been good. Again, those are all plus Australia type things. They had a little bit of a lockdown, wasn't big. They got it under control. There's no reason this one can't continue to go higher. Now, you can see in the last 4 hours, there has been a little bit of a push down, and it's just small. I mean, it's going to, you're going to have these little pullbacks, but is there really great levels? I mean, there's a little potential long area here. There's a 4-hour level it could potentially grab right here. We may look for another long here, and you can see the curves over here, right? I mean, I could keep extending the curve up, but really until we go up to a daily, I'll just do it on a 4-hour. Let's see, let's bring it up. Really, until we get up into that level, there's not really going to be great shorting opportunities, unfortunately. It is what it is. I mean, we're in the top. Yep, we should be looking for shorts, but you're pulling off, you're pulling off things over here, and you're playing with fire. It's just, and again, if you can grab small little things like this where we have these, sure, great. But I think for the most part, I mean, any great kind of basing level that gives us, some type of a decent level here, look to go long, at least up until, obviously the 89 level. You can see there's the daily right there. Mark it off real quick. Right there. It doesn't need to be that color. Right there. The governor of North Carolina opened many things up. Yeah. That thought for sure would have been postponed. But yeah. Yeah, because everybody's, I mean, again, everybody is looking for, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point, we pretty much know how to stifle, the virus, whatever you want to call it, right? I mean, if we do distancing, if we, kind of limit people, we wear the mask, we know that the transmission rates are much, much less, and it's much more accepted right now. Any type of gathering, right? People know this now. When you're looking and you're forecasting out, when you're forecasting out, the other thing you got to look at too is where will the vaccine rollout be? Will we have less people vaccinated by that time or more people vaccinated? About the only thing that throws a monkey wrench in that is if we have a variant that, and again, I saw something this morning. See, I'm going right back to the other thing again, and you guys are, I don't know where, I can't find it now. It's not up here, but they found another variant, and this one they actually found in the United States. I think it was the United States. Where the heck was it? I don't know where it is. It's funny because you guys are saying, "Oh, switch the MT4," but now I'm actually back on the other thing again. Where is it? I saw something on another variant, right? That is, here we go. By the way, RTX 3060s today at noon. Extra pip chips for anybody that gets me one. Man, I can't find it. I saw another thing that there was another variant that is actually, it's something along the lines of it had a higher infectivity rate, but it also had a lower detectability rate. Like there was something about it that made contact tracing with it more difficult. I don't know if it takes like twice as long to incubate or something like that. I didn't get to read the whole article before I had to jump on, but it's another variant, right? We found another variant, but that it is more. It's I don't know. It's fighting back against the masks, I guess is what it's doing. Can't find it right now, but anyway, I would say again, look for Aussie to continue to go long. Anytime you have buying opportunities, look to take it higher. I mean, right now it's trying to find some buyers here, and again, it's retracing from the European session. It's what you expect to happen. All right. All right, Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, again, you guys can see here we were looking for a pullback into this level yesterday morning, right around, and again, we marked this level off as a Harry Potter trade potential, right? Because we were sitting right here, right? We knew Powell was speaking at 10, and guess what happened at 10 o'clock? Powell spoke, and Powell shot us higher. So again, for those of you that know the Harry Potter strategy, here was a long from yesterday that we drew. Again, 10 o'clock was when we said, hey, Powell's going to get in there. He can control the yen. Look for this to go higher. Bam, it's higher. And now it's actually sitting, even with a pullback, it's up 90 pips, right? Crushed the 1 to 3, crushed the 1 to 5, made it all the way up. I mean, this one ran almost 118 pips above that zone. And it was the ideal. I mean, you can't really draw it any better. Came up, it based, it pulled back, it grabbed it, and then took off to the race, off to the racetrack, right? And again, there was another potential opportunity right there, right? Pulled back into a level of buyers and then punched higher again, and that was also over a 1 to 3. So, some decent opportunity. And again, I should draw this red. This would have been a buy, right? So look for the same thing. Look for decent level basing, and look for this. I still think it has potential to go higher. And again, hopefully some of you guys grab that one because, for some people, if you have your, like I said, all my beginning students, I want you guys to, your goal is to get 30 pips a day. Every day, get 30 pips consistently. If you're able to do this, and this one moved up 114, just call it 118, right? You got 4 days worth of pips in one day, right there. So again, not a bad move on the top side. Same thing, bigger thinking as well. I mean, you can see that on a daily. That's a weekly. Hold on, let me go to a daily. You can see the first daily level in this one is sitting all the way up here, right? Up at the 88 mark. So again, a lot of room to run until we get up there. 364 pips. It's not going there in a day or two. It's going to take longer than that. But again, we know that it's looming. We know that it's sitting up there. So be cautious with it. Okay. Let's go across to Euro Yen. So obviously Euro Yen, it spiked. I mean, it exploded through. This ended up going through. We had a level here. We were looking for a potential break. And we had a bit of a pullback. We went to about 1.5, 2 to 1 on that short from yesterday. from that level, and it just based, and then it kind of blew through. And again, you had to expect that it was going to break with this pattern, and it pulled up and it pulled back. It didn't give us a Harry Potter long, right? So, on this one, I would say, be looking for. Actually, I shouldn't have taken that one off. We could talk about a potential top in here, but it's one of those ones that we were looking for a pull here. You could probably go up here. I mean, I think the euro will retrace. I mean, it's great that they want to do the additional vaccines, but I don't think it's not. Their problem is not solved yet, right? And again, we can see here that this is a level that this is like way back level. And right now, again, look, you're sitting. This is the daily zone. There's a daily zone from here up. So all of this is sitting inside of the daily zone right now. So let's clean this. Let's clean this. All right. And you guys can see it there. Kind of looking for, some type of a potential top. I don't know that right now it doesn't look like the potential top is in based off the candles. It really hasn't pulled down. But there's a short in here. And what I would say is if any type of short, when this does retrace, look for this one, the bounce around here, 129.00. Maybe even make it a little bit higher than that. 129.02. Right. But right now, again, the official top, I would say, is probably not in. Let me see what time did that hit. 7, 8 o'clock. I mean, the early morning one has kind of been flatlined. And look, magically right here, 3 o'clock, off to the races. Yeah, I'd wait for more of a confirmation on this one. I'd wait for more of a pullback and kind of, yeah, it's not ideal. I'm just going to say it's not ideal. I like it for a short. Don't like the risk level right now. Don't like the candle formation, but I would be looking for this one to kind of roll back over for the G20s tomorrow. Okay. Pound dollar. So this one here, you can see we did not make it. Unfortunately, we didn't make it down to the 1 to 3. We ended up getting the entry, dropping, and then kind of basing and stabilizing. And again, the basing and stabilizing, that's where we're looking for a punch through. And you can see it did punch higher, came back, and then it's kind of rallied higher as well. So, kind of the same story, right? We'll take these off right now just to kind of clear the levels to make it a little cleaner to look at right now. Again, there's what is that? That's a 1 hour. So we'll just go to the 1 hour. Let's go up. Let's move this over. And same thing. Yesterday I talked about this as well. We don't have a good level until here. And I mentioned, hey, can the pound go higher? And the answer is yes. The pound can absolutely go higher. Why? Because they are ahead of the curve. We'll just extend these up on the larger time frame now. And again, start looking for things to push all the way up, right? And same rationale. They were at rock bottom in January. Things are only getting better for them. Vaccines are rolling out. Numbers are getting better. Lockdowns are kind of disappearing for them. So again, we have about, 200 pips to go on this one. That's about 2 good days worth of movement to the top side. I'd be looking for buying opportunities. And yes, although I know it's, in the middle of the curve, it's one of those things. I mean, they're in a better situation than we are. They strike a trade deal with China. Guess what? It is going to go much, much higher. You get a bad day in the U.S. market. Yeah, it's going to go higher. There's many factors, and like I said, I don't think there's much negative, unless there's a new variant in the UK that is resistant to vaccines. But then that should affect everybody, not just the pound. I think the pound is going higher as well. I think it's kind of in the same situation as Australia. It was so beaten up for such a long time, and Brexit is done. It's passed. All we're seeing is new news making Brexit the Brexit situation better and better and better. So yeah, I'd be looking for pullbacks, decent levels to go along in this one as well. I mean, I don't know if I'd use this one down here, but you could have used this as a zone right there, right? That could have been a zone to go higher. Right now, I wouldn't say that this is one. I'd be looking for this to push back and look for a decent level of basing to go higher. All right. But again, let's see. This is the 1 hour. Is that right? Yeah. I mean, there's your 3 o'clock push. Right there. 3 o'clock up. So 60 pips. I mean, really, it did it 60 pips in the first hour and a half. And then since that time, it just retraced back again. So, if you want to look at this on a lower time frame, you can see parabolic move up, and it didn't really go off anything, but parabolic move up, retracement back to the start of the base. So, did what it's supposed to do. Right now, I would say, look for a top, and you could probably look for something small in this one if you want to just play like somewhat of a retracement. I mean, it's actually already been hit one time, so it's not the cleanest. But I would say there's probably something in here. I would be looking for something in this level for buyers, but it's not super clean. I mean, it's just this would be more of an end of the day type thing. Okay, but again, I think pound yen also goes higher tomorrow. Pound dollar. Now we were looking for this one to go long. We wanted this one to come down. We were looking for an entry. Unfortunately, Pal stole this one from us as well. You guys can see that right here is where Pal stepped in, and I mentioned it that we needed just a bit more, and we didn't get it, and it rallied up. And when we said, it's funny, I missed it by like 3 candles where I said price would be, but I also thought we would get a little bit of a pullback and then go, and it just went. So yeah, subtract these 3 candles here, and we hit it. I'd say in this one, 142.02 I think is also a decent level. I think, did we have that on a 4-hour? No, it's just where the top was. Kind of the same thinking. There's probably something sitting right here, somewhere up in this range, kind of up in there, that I'd be looking for a rollover point. If I had to do a small intraday curve, again, I do think this one has the power to go higher. I think we are more in dollar weakness situation, but I do think there will be kind of an intraday pullback. And again, we may get it. I mean, if we pop up to this level, I could see this turning and rolling back to the downside. Okay. Excuse me. Where we go with it now, I don't know. I don't like the retracement on this one as much. This level here is kind of funky. This is just a retest of that level, and it's broken through that. So, I don't know. I don't like this one as much. I think there's better retracement opportunities in other pairs right now. Oops. Nope. Cancel. Delete. I don't need this right now either. Yeah, I'd use this 142.02, 140.75 is kind of our top and bottoms for this kind of new channel established. But if we do get a break of this level, if we break, oops, that's a little bit off. If we break this high, the 142.23, look for a Harry Potter trade to the top side. I think, do we have enough room? Do we have enough room? Yes, we do have enough room. Whew, it's close. The 1 to 3 is right before the daily zone steps in. So yeah, so there is something long there if we're able to break through the top, right? I'll just steal this one since it's already drawn. Look for a break that way. Okay. All right, Euro Pound. Man, Euro Pound. Look at this. We ended up tagging, coming back down, and then we started doing this base right here, right? And again, when it's there that long, you know that it's not going to work. This was actually from yesterday. We hit. So right now, I think we can, let's see, to find a decent level. I mean, we're at a level right now that there is some play. Let's see. Fortunately, it's been up here so much. I wouldn't say that this is the highest quality of levels. I would say that it's not bad for a short, but understand that this is a lot of time spent there. 4-hour wise. 4-hour wise, there's not a level till up top. It's all right. How much space is it? It's about 18. It's not bad. Let me see. Hold on. What do we got to the downside? 38. So you would have had to snipe this one basically here. Actually, I guess that would have worked. I feel like I feel like drawing it to there would have been better because that's where the gap is. So it's a decent level, I guess. It's too late for us to get into it now. But yeah, that would have been a fine one to take. I missed this one completely. I was not even paying attention to this at the US or the Open this morning. But yeah, this one wouldn't have been bad. You would have about 24 on it so far. I think on this one, again, make sure you take profit before you get back down to here. And again, that is past the 1 to 3. If anybody did get this one short, I didn't get it. So I'm not even going to try to claim that I did. But the one thing that's worrying me about the zone is we got our three big, actually 4 main touches at this point. Question is, will we get the retrace in today? That's a good question. It's too late to enter this thing now. I'm wondering if you stayed in this one, if it was worth it or not. I will say, you got to keep this on your radar, that you got at least one decent touch there, one there, one here. So I would be expecting this to, if it comes back up again, I don't know if it's going to be able to hold much longer to the top side. I'm wondering if we need to push up to a little bit higher. Like I said, if you're not in now, it's too late to get in. But if we do push up and for some reason we're able to rally up to this 86.72, that's probably worth a short at that point. And again, the risk level on that one is rather small. I mean, you're talking about 8 pips, 7 pips. So not a bad level. And again, if this turns here and breaks, not surprising at all. And that will kind of erase this level. Come up, grab the 86.72 and look for a pushback down again. And then again, profit targets will need to be here and here to the downside. So it's all right. Like I said, this is a big jump in very, very fast. And the news was all right. I wouldn't say it was earth shattering, but I do think that the pound is still in a better position than the euro. So euro dollar. All right. So this is a top, and I've been looking for it. And again, it was giving us a potential rollover. We had to see what the U.S. Open did, and you can see the U.S. Open gave us some kind of dollar pushback up again. This one is, again, if we hold here, this is just the U.S. Open kind of, and again, one of the things is when that retail trader steps in, you got to see what they're going to really do to the market and what they believe. And again, they jumped on the European train. It pulled back. They had that profit taking from the European Open, and the U.S. trader was like, no, I want in on that too. So, is it higher? Sure. We talked about breaking 122.28 in the Nadex section, maybe looking for some type of a call spread to the downside. Again, we're going to need a little bit of help, right? European markets close in 2 hours. That could be the catalyst for this one. And again, trying to just grab a top like that is a bit difficult. I mean, 2-1 at the U.S. Open, you got to bank it. So at this point, whoops, I don't need that one. I need this one here. We can push this up and say, hey, listen, is this the new top? Right? It might be. That might be the new top, right? We got to see if we get that confirmation and then the pullback. We need a failure to go higher. And like I said, this one, not so much. I mean, again, because it is at the U.S. Open, you expected it to kind of, we expected it to fail. It might be. And again, I'll just adjust these for anybody. Again, if you're in that call spread, it's probably fine at this point. Okay. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD has pushed back down. Now, look, we were talking about this middle zone forever, right? We punched down and then it's kind of stabilizing. Now, we talked about having profit targets taking at 124.91. Now you're seeing over the last few hours, we've kind of based, right? On a larger time frame, you can see right here, this is sitting right inside of a 4-hour zone. Whoops. Nope, I'm looking for the price tag. Give me the price tag. There we go. Right? The 124.95 is, again, the extreme range. With all the movement that we've had in this one, with all the dollar weakness, I do feel like we are due for a bit of a retracement on this one. Now, it is at the extreme range of the curve. It is a 4-hour zone. I'm not going to take it on the 4-hour, but I would be looking for like lower time frame positions here. As you can see, and again, I'll move this over so you can see the actual price action in it. Right? Not giving us the cleanest of bottoms, right? Could you draw a zone in here? Probably, right? Probably, but I wouldn't say that this chop back and forth isn't the best area. We're looking for like a big spike, some type of a big push that gives us some type of a level there to draw from. We don't really have it. And we do know that, again, there is actually, I guess it's a daily zone, not a 4-hour. So we do know there's a zone down here. We should be looking for, again, there's what the zone is. We know something. Maybe 30-minute. There's just not, it's just a little bit too wicky. Yeah, there's just not. I don't have the candle I like. I kind of want to see a push up so I can draw something down here. And when I say draw something, I mean, this is not the zone, but something along these lines. Like if this is the takeoff point, right? If we have a green and a green and a green, then we could potentially draw it here, because that would be the start of the punch higher. You'd have ascending wicks, and I would love that. That would be great. I think it's just a little bit too premature right now. We need this to punch higher, and again, there's a little bit of basing right there on the hourly. Actually, I guess that's a 4-hour zone. It's going to be a problem too. So I would say I'm kind of looking for a move. I'm looking for this as a potential move. I don't need this here. But I don't know if that's going to be the bottom yet. I got to see it bounce. I got to see some type of confirmation, some type of sign that sellers want to punch this higher. And right now, that's not it. So maybe it could be. We'll see in 2 candles. Maybe in an hour, hour and a half. That's a level. Right now, it is not, but it's close. Dollar Swiss, kind of the same thing. Again, we were looking for a break of 90.93. Didn't get it yet. Again, it came up in base, then again gave us kind of that confirmation bounce to the downside. It didn't. It wouldn't have moved 1 to 3. Again, it's still chopping around. Again, we were waiting for this to break higher. It hasn't done it yet, so that trade still is sitting up there. Right now, you can see that it's having issues with this kind of level right here, and it's gapped down and went up, and it's gapped down again, and it's in that level right now. That level is due to break. The only caution I would have is it's about a 30 pip runner down to this zone here. If you were drawing something along these lines here. Problem with this one is if we get our established level of risk, let's just say right now, let's just say that this is where the zone is going to be, right? Let's just say, and again, the original zone is there. Oops, right there. That's how big it would have to be. That 1 to 3 is really starting to encroach in. We don't know where the basing is occurring here yet. The basing may occur just slightly below, and then we need to readjust. It's going to be tight. It's going to be really, really tight. If you're interested in taking this one short, I don't think that's necessarily a bad play. The biggest thing is, again, if you are short, make sure you're collecting your profit at 90.07. And again, if we come through in base, hold it, because then it looks like it'll break lower, and then it'll be 89.56 would be my 2 profit targets to the downside. Again, I'm not going to take this one off. I still think this is decent. It still has room to run. I like the setup. I like the fact that, again, this is a level. It based in that level and, again, has used it again. So remember, it was a top. It based in there, kind of triggered back and forth, and again, became a top and a top again. So technically speaking, you could argue that this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3, or the next one is 3 coming in again. I like this one for a long still. And again, a break of 90.94 to the top side, looking for targets up here at 91.53, right? Don't know if it'll be today or not, but like I said, I like this one. If this, then that. If a break, we go long. But right now, if you are short, look for the 2 profit targets lower. Dollar yen. So, dollar yen. Here are the checks that we talked about. Here's the first hit and the pullback. We're looking for one off the top side, the top one as well. It didn't work, but again, here's that first kind of touch and pullback. So let me delete this and this. Again, we haven't needed the second one, but there was the first one from yesterday, and we pushed down into the level of buyers. It's looking like it's going to happen again. Funny enough, on this one, this is the one, so I mentioned that I'm trying to see if I'm going to attempt to use TradingView. Like I said, I don't use it right now more than just to do some analysis on some pairs. Setting up a position, I set this one up right here yesterday. Right? I set that one there yesterday. And again, I think it was set on the hourly. I missed the entry here by 1.6 pips. Right? And then it wrote it all the way down right to where you expected. Right? So again, I'm sharing this with you guys because I was laughing at myself. And, whoops. Hold on. There we go. So there's where your profit target should have been. Yes? The start of the move behind the candle. This one missed by 1.6. Came down and hit it. I was like, oh. Then, again, you could use, you always want to make sure that, you're finding where the buyer stepped in. There's where your profit target should have been on the second one. Okay? So, and here it didn't actually trigger, right? I forgot to adjust it. And again, it was just set up as a sim, right? Because I'm trying to learn the platform. I don't do live trades on platforms I'm not comfortable with. So I was like, all right, let me put it on there. Let me test it out. Let me try the different options on there. Missed it here. It hit the profit target. Triggered last night. I forgot to change the profit target to here, and it missed it by another 1.6. I was like, oh, God. This is why testing is sometimes fun. But again, I'm learning a lot about the platform. I actually do like it. So again, Will, I appreciate the feedback on that one. It's like I said, when I first started messing around with TradingView, I didn't really like it that much. And there's still some things I don't like about it, but I think the readability is better. Like I said, it's very hard for you guys to see the prices on the right-hand side, and that's why I have to use these price labels. I do think it is easier for people to see it. It's easier for people to follow it. If you're new to trading and you're not sure what MT4 is, it's harder. I'm not abandoning MT4, but I feel like for presentations like this, it would be better. I would be better serving you guys over on TradingView. So trying to get used to it at least. So then again, I could be like, yep, you go short here, long here. But But anyway, where this is at right now, it kind of had this kind of flip over. It's having problems. There's obviously sellers here. We know that there's 4-hour levels. There's 2 4-hour levels stacked on top of each other right here. It's an area where I'd like to go short. Obviously, we need a little bit of help on this one with lack of news today. I mean, really, right now, it's just chopping back and forth. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look at this. Literally, it's like, oh, God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's so much indecision right now. So, I mean, if you were short, and you can see the short level comes in here, right? I don't know if you guys can see it. Actually, I'll just use a line. It'd be easier to see. There's where the line is at the bottom of this 4-hour level, right? So you can see it's trying. The sellers are there. Again, 4-hour sellers. It's there. They're trying their best, but man, there's just so much indecision with the dollar and the yen right now. So, I feel like if they can actually pass the 1.9 stimulus package, I feel like that'll give us the movement on this one. Excuse me. I don't know if the G20 is going to be enough. I don't think we'll get enough headlines from it that'll affect the U.S. But man, this one is one of the push down. But again, just a word of warning. Make sure you move your stop losses or your profit targets. Make sure you read the chart and just don't blindly do 1 to 3s or 1 to 5s or 1 to 10s. Read what the chart tells you. And again, here's your profit on the one. And again, depending on where you're at, there was your profit target on the other one, right? Again, it's the origin of the move is where the buyers and sellers step in. Yeah, the Pivot gang were all over this one, Ernest. The 1.6 made me mad. And then when I missed the profit target by that much, actually, I guess it hit the profit target here, but then because I didn't move the profit target because it hit in the middle of the night, I wasn't paying attention to it because it wasn't a live trade. It triggered, then went down. I was like, oh God, you got to be kidding me. Twice in the same pair? So I thought TradingView would be Pipet gang free, but no, I was wrong. The Pipet gang is there as well. NQ. So here's the NQ levels that we talked about yesterday. We talked about the intraday curve levels. Interestingly enough, again, I mentioned that this one was going to be a little bit more difficult to play because, we've had that prior level that was broken. We know it based in there, gave us a Harry Potter short, and it kind of went off that same level. And again, was in the top of the curve. You could have taken it long. We didn't know that it was there. Mentioned that maybe going a little bit higher was maybe the safer area right here, and you can see how close it missed. We were waiting for kind of the freshest of levels, not the tested one. Unfortunately, it was the tested one that we needed to do. We were a little bit too conservative on this call yesterday, right? But I would say this one is still kind of a valid level. I would say to me right now, the way that this is spiked up and is kind of basic sideways. Again, we're in no man's land, so you guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of the no man's land trades. We should have had this one here. And again, people would have got scared on it, but we went for the 30-minute instead. This one to me looks like it wants to go lower. Where it stops, again, we have is that an hourly? Yeah, that's the hourly level here. There's a 30-minute, but we have a 4-hour level kicking in right here. So I would say downside targets on this one. I'd put it 12,863. But again, the one thing I don't like is, again, we are in this little area here. There's not really strong movement. I would say you're probably going to have a little bit of a hiccup right here, right? Again, that's what really kind of where the buyers kind of, again, stepped into this one. But I think range-wise, again, I would say 128.63, 133.86. And again, this is it front run a previous level. And again, I was going for the clean, fresh level, just slightly above. So depending on this one, you may or may not have gotten in. But so far this morning, this much sideways movement, I would say this is. I mean, what are you doing? What are you really trading here? I mean, here's your 8, 9 o'clock. You're literally just springing back and forth, and whoops, even down to a 15-minute level. I mean, what are you really trading off of? I mean, I guess there's a little zone here, but I don't know. Not really much. I mean, here's your 7 o'clock, right? There's your 8, there's your 9 right here, and then there's your 9:30. And all it did was pull right back down. So not even at a level, right? So NQ is a little bit funky today. We'll see. S&P, you guys can see that there was the curve. Again, we drove, actually this should have been on the top of the level right there. You guys can see the dotted line in there. I don't know why we had it on the near side. It should have been on the far side. But again, far side trade, right up top. Yeah, you guys can see it here. See the level? It should have been on the, I don't know why it wasn't on the top. Right? There's the 4-hour level. There you can see it on the hourly. Right? It's this level here. And again, there's your push down. I would say on this one as well, I would expect this one to me, this one's coming down. Right? I would say watch out for profit targets around here, around 38.70. Again, start of the move. There's not a whole lot in here. So again, once this continues to pick up steam, look at this one to come down potentially over in here before end of the day. I think this one ends lower. Now, I will say this. All of these coming down today is kind of lining up with what we're seeing tomorrow. Tomorrow's the vote for the money. The money comes out. That should be a good thing for the economy because there's a lot more people spending money, right? Should be decent. Should be decent, right? Trying to think what else we can get into today for this one. Yeah, like even on the 15-minute, there's nothing slowing this one down. Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking for an entry, if we get any type of basing, we can get a pullback. You guys can grab this one lower. But I think 1870 is good. I'd like to start tomorrow at 1870. I think if we can be down in this, not 18, sorry, 3870. If we're at 3870 tomorrow and we pass that package, I think that could give us a pretty nice bounce higher. Soros got them everywhere. Try toss. Yeah, right. Toss is like, what's a pip at? Hey, all I got to say is all you toss lovers out there, have fun. I don't think it'll make it through 2021. They extended it a year, but I can tell you right now, Schwab is going to just absorb that in. Schwab's having enough problems right now. Dow. So yesterday we talked about a breakout of Dow. We mentioned we were looking for a pullback. It wanted nothing to do with the pullback. Okay, this is where we drew it yesterday, right? We missed it by a little bit. Like it went just slightly higher than where we drew it. Sometimes we get the pullback, and again, the only thing that the pullback gives us is a bit extra confirmation in trades that it's going to continue to move in our direction, and it helps establish a level of risk. This one wanted nothing to do with it. It literally just skyrocketed forward. It's put at an interesting level and up top. I mean, you can see hourly. Question is, did it have a market there? I'm surprised it didn't mark that one. I would say look for the same area. We know it was an area of buyers and sellers before. If you guys are going to go short, again, take this one to 31.7, 714. It is bouncing right now, but there's nothing really. Is there something on a? Yeah, it's right there. So, if you're looking to run this one back down, if this does come down, you could take a Harry Potter on this one later on today. Right? If we get a break at this level, so again, switch this around. It'd be a break here. Probably later. And again, it may not. It may just continue to rally higher, and then it's no harm, no foul. Right there. And the 1 to 3 is before the 71.14. Now, is there anything spectacular about that level? I would say no. I mean, looking to the left, no, there's nothing over there, right? There's nothing over there. But we know that was an area previously where price kept bouncing off of. Did it here? Did it here? Here, it just blew through it. I was like, I don't care anymore. It just drove through. So it will most likely be some type of at least a hiccup. It may be a level of basing. So again, watch your positions. But, I would say 31,638 is probably one area. That's where we saw some basing based off of this. And then again, look for a final push all the way down to here. I don't know that this is going to come all the way back down. I think this one has the best ability to stay higher. The 4.1 is good, obviously, for the Dow. But if we're ending here for tomorrow, the 31,714, yeah, that could definitely be a launching point. By some random chance, if we come all the way down here, I don't think it's going to happen. But if we did come all the way down here by tomorrow morning for that vote, again, that could be another launching point to the top. But right now, I mean, it's definitely finding some buyers. It's stabilizing itself right now. But again, look at the top of that though, right? Bid here, a drop here. It tested this level here, dropped down again. So it's had some pretty violent moves off that to the downside. And again, the short-term technicians are going to be looking at this and saying, downward side channel. There we go. Let's go. To push this lower. So I don't know, 71.14. All right, let's jump back over to gold, which I need to switch for you guys right there. So here's our gold trade. I mentioned being, and again, I didn't touch this. I didn't touch this price level whatsoever. You guys can go back and view the video from yesterday. We were looking to get down to 1780 before Powell spoke. It got down this low, and then Powell started speaking right here. So we got close, I'm counting as a touch because, again, had we had another 10, 15 more minutes before Powell opened his mouth, it would have hit, right? Magically, it literally came up and tagged literally to the point, it tagged it, right? Where I told you guys to watch out for. Again, parabolic retracement move. If you guys are new to the channel, don't know what a parabolic retracement move is, it's a large emotional move, finding a level, and then retracing back to the origin of the move. Came back, tagged a thing, and then collapsed right back down again. I would say, again, we know the buyers are going to step into this area. Now, this is a funky level. There's a huge wick here, and you can see it went right past again. I mentioned earlier I did not expect this level to hold again. It's had way too many hits, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and you guys can see there's really two right on top of each other. Either way, I was looking for this to go lower. I wasn't interested in getting in until really much down, 1768. There is a knockout bracket down here at 1763. That actually may be decent because I think if we can come down to this level, right, kind of where this push here was tested, the $1.9 trillion package, actually like the $1,400 coming out, that should provide at least somewhat of a bounce to the top side in the near term. I mean, again, yes, it admits that the economy is bad, which everybody, I think, universally agrees on, which I don't necessarily agree with. But when people actually know they're getting a check, people are thinking, yeah, more money's coming out. We're printing money. We're throwing it out. Woo! Inflation. There should be some movement in gold. There should be. And again, if it pushes back into a level here, it may provide a low risk opportunity to be able to take a bounce off of gold tomorrow. Okay. But right now, again, I still like this one short to the downside. It made it to a 2-to-1 so far, but I do think this one will continue to push lower. Let's see on the 30-minute here. Yeah, you can see it bounced right off of this level right here. Remember I talked about having profit targets right where the move is? There's the candle behind in the move. Right there. That's where it had issues with in this level. So, not surprising. Right? But I would say I think being bearish gold today is probably not a bad thing. Again, it's a pretty crazy movement. Very, very quick. Silver is there's what we drew in silver yesterday, right? We talked about bouncing off of 28.16. You can see it came up right here, went to 28.20. Not only did it push down once, it pushed down a second time. I think both of those would be. Let me see here. 1.83 is right there. So yeah, you just missed it. You got a second entry, and now you're well past your 1 to 3. So both those levels for silver have been fine. Again, if you got those silver trades, good for you. I'm glad somebody's getting something there. But again, now you got to start thinking, hey, listen, if the level was formed here and we have a touch here and a touch here, will this hold again? I need this one. Let's just put one here and then I'll shrink it. Again, you got a touch here. Whoops. It's fine. Copy. We have a touch here. Nope. Touch here. So again, number 4, it may not hold as well as it held before. Okay. But again, we were talking about driving this back down to the 2740 area. Again, makes sense. That's where this last little move was here, right? And I'll take this and steal this. So profit targets on this one need to be right there. And again, back into no man's land. Okay. Downside, I would say the next really clean level. Obviously this is a level that had a bit of a gap, but it was hit here, here, and here. You could argue that this was 1, 2, or argue that this one didn't actually count since it just gapped there, didn't really test. It's getting to the level where I expect this one to break. But I think, and again, I do think we will take a bounce off of 26.95 to the downside. So, I just be a bit cautious about that one. But again, hopefully you guys got short this one last night. Again, some decent trade positions in here. One at midnight and then one at about 7 o'clock this morning were the 2 entries for this one. Last but not least, oil. So oil, I'm actually quite surprised. So yesterday, we were talking about this level right in here, right? And in all honesty, it drove down. It wasn't necessarily in a level, and then all of a sudden started spiking here at 10:30, right? Again, it spiked back up into highs, and it's like, hey, that's typically a short opportunity. Then the number came in. And interestingly enough, the price shot higher and then it held inside of an hourly zone. Now, here's the 2 hourly zones. This one I would say be cautious with. It didn't hold. It actually peaked right out of the top before collapsing back down again. What I find interesting about this one is it shows you that the speculators are more controlled than the actual fundamentals. It was an absolutely huge miss. It was supposed to be a minus 607 million barrel, reduction in supply of inventories. It came in at 1.3, so they expected being down almost 7, and it came in at positive 1.5. So it missed by a lot, right? We had a lot more oil than we thought, and what did it do? It drove higher, and then now it's stabilizing itself at this hourly. Shows you that the speculators are in charge because it's not matching the fundamentals whatsoever. So again, I was leaving these two dark lines on here. These are the hourly levels from I think January of last year. It's been forever. The reason why I'm watching these is because I'd really like to know, and again, really kind of gets this pop. I mean, I'll just do it now. I'll adjust these this way and just talk about this level here again. New level of basing, pops, based, and then dropped, and then again retested lower. So there was a short this morning you could have taken. I'm watching this because of where is it? This one. I don't know why I think the price one is down. I'm interested in watching a break of this level right here. Let's change this to yellow for like an alert. The reason why, all right, if you look back on the chart, these were some major spikes January of last year. There's not a whole lot. And again, this is an hourly basis. There are no levels in between these two areas. Okay. With that said, with a break of 63.76, we could definitely be back up in the 65.26 range rather quickly. Now, do I want $65 oil? No. I was quite happy with the other side. The last administration's oil prices, I was much happier with those. Not necessarily as happy with them punching this higher, but it absolutely could. Shorts, I would say, watch your shorts down here at 62. It's going to have a little bit of a hiccup, but I think ultimately if this comes back down, 61.12 would be the next area where there's some decent basing off of it. But again, huge. We have a lot more oil than we thought, and what does oil do? The price goes up. So again, some of this has to do with the dollar, some not. But again, there's a small intraday target. So like I said, oil's oil. Silver was the best 3 commodity today. Yesterday, it was gold. Maybe tomorrow will be oil. And I will say this, with G20 tomorrow, there will be opportunities in oil because, again, they are going to talk about global recovery and a bunch of different things. So keep that on your radar. Like I said, I don't have a setup on this one right now. I was not looking or trading oil at 6:30 this morning, and was not marking these zones. So these were actually from last night. So all right, so that's it. Let's go ahead and do the drawing. Where the heck is my drawing? I actually have to take the girl over to her school. We're going to go do a walkthrough for her. So I'll give you guys about another 30 seconds at 6:45. Again, it's funny. I'll leave this on the other window. It doesn't click. At 6:45, I'll go ahead and shut it down. What am I doing here? This over here. This. It's a beautiful day to win. Ross is trying to stay positive. Ross is like, I gotta be positive, man. It's a Friday. It's my day. Debbie won yesterday. I mean, come on. How much? It doesn't get much better than this, right? Wait, what? Hold on one sec, guys. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, let's close the giveaway. All right, so let's see if Ross is kind of hyping himself up. Got him the win today. All right, winner of today's drawing is. Wow, she did two in a row. Neuro had that typed up already. He was ready to go because literally it hit and then bam, he hit it. All right, I'm going to do this. So Debbie wins for today. Debbie gets her double, but let's see who the first loser is on Friday. If it's Ross, man, I apologize. Here you go. First loser for today is. Oh, it's Silent. Silent came in at the last second. So I'm marking as complete. Silent, you don't get any things where this is more just to troll Ernest. Troll Ernest and Neuro. But let's go ahead and give Debbie her. Wow. So Debbie won yesterday. So Debbie gets her 100 pip chips today. Right? I tried to enter immediately after Debbie. Sean like originally. I know, right? It's so funny. All right, guys. So with that said, I'm out of here. I got to get the girl ready. I don't think anything else has popped out. Pending home sales, retreat in January. But climb, Fibonacci, yada, 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 nothing else. This will be good. EU to grant limited equivalents to the UK. So that will actually start helping the pound as well. So again, look, if this happens, look for the pound to jump some more. So, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll be back on. If you guys need anything, shoot me messages on Discord. If not, you guys have a great trading day today. Watch those zones, look for pullbacks, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.